Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Mythkeepers. We are your hosts. I am Scott, and joining me, as always, he would rather go hungry than eat your damn goose or your duck. It's Zachy boy.
You know, I've never really been a big fan of duck.
Same. I have never tried goose. This isn't, Christmas in an Oliver Twist situation, so I've never tried goose.
Yeah.
Duck, a little too greasy for my taste.
It is, and I feel really bad too because there was this one year that we went to a friend's house,
Ebenezer Scrooge's house for Christmas.
Yeah, for Christmas. And he's Ukrainian. Him and his wife are Ukrainian, and they made duck. Like they made like a pretty normal. I guess I don't know if it was like a festive meal to them, but like they're like, this is what we eat in the holidays.
Sure.
Like we like to make this. And I ate it, but like I was like, it's
not for you.
No, it just wasn't for me.
All right, listen, fair enough. I always thought lamb was not for me. I tried it like several times and did not
lamb's
care for
good.
it.
What are you talking about?
Well, so I tried it at a Brazilian steakhouse last week, and that was the first lamb I had that I actually did like. So maybe it's just all in to do with the preparation, So
yeah,
who could say?
Definitely.
We are not here to talk about food, though, believe it or not. We are here to talk about Hot D, House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 5, titled Regent. A lot of regency going on around here.
Mm-hmm. Lots of weird stuff going on around here in this episode.
Yeah. This is...
Yeah, listen. Oh,
no,
you go ahead.
No, you.
No,
after
please.
You. No, please.
No, please. After you, the Regent.
I was just going to say this episode is like 1/3 Damon being haunted, 1/3 like Rhaenyra being frustrated, and 1/3 just Alicent being frustrated. It's kind of this entire episode.
Well, it's not all that, but okay. I mean, I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, if you're new here, we're talking about House of the Dragon every single week after the show airs. Scotty and I talk about the episode and what we thought and how we're perceiving everything throughout the show as non-book readers. So if you're into that, you want to see if we're able to guess correctly or laugh at us for all the probable incorrect guesses and predictions that we're going to have throughout the series, please consider hitting the subscribe button or following us on whatever podcast listening app you are using. It would mean the world. And I do also want to send a very special thank you to all of our patrons. We've got, and I'm going to go in a different order.
Oh, hell
Scott.
Yeah. Do it.
We've got Chaz, Terrence, Sarah, Nathan, Kristen, Jordan, Jenna, Jen, Hannah, Emma, Andrea, and Allie. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. They are getting access to a bunch of exclusive content. Scotty and I like to talk before most of our episodes. Sometimes we play a cheeky game. We talk about what books, movies, games, and sometimes we talk about food. So if you would have liked that duck and goose conversation to continue, go follow the Patreon.
On the Patreon later. Yeah. For sure.
But hey, listen, if you don't support us on the Patreon, that's also okay. We appreciate you guys watching and listening regardless. Scott, let's talk about House of the Dragon.
See, you absolute fucker. I knew I was going to talk about dumb shit jumping into the episode, and I knew you were going to talk about actually things, things that needed to be discussed, which is why I wanted you to go first. You're like, no, I insist, Mr. Regent. You're the actual worst.
Yeah.
Yep. I try to help you, and I extend a hand to help, and you refuse it. Zach, this episode, I don't think it's a surprise that this episode was a little slower, a little bit more relaxed after episode 4, where we got the Dance of the Dragons. But unfortunately for me, the quieter and the slower scenes just did not hold up as much as I'd hoped. Unlike even the slower and quieter scenes in the previous episode before we got to the big battle, these just were not doing a great job of getting me invested, holding my attention nearly as much. There are a few standouts. But as is, this was a bit of a down week, in my opinion.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think, especially comparatively to last week, what goes up must come down.
Sure, absolutely.
But for me, I still felt like this was a pretty solid episode. I actually really liked and appreciated a lot of the character moments. There's one storyline that we're going to talk a lot about that I'm just kind of struggling with.
I have several guesses as to what that might be, but the first couple don't count.
But overall, honestly, man, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm the type of person that, like, I watch this especially with the intent of, like, ooh, maybe this means this, and maybe this has been this all along, and like I'm very just like actively watching in a way where, like, I want to satisfy myself while I'm watching. So, like, I am looking for stuff to like always. So
you're satisfying yourself, you're jacking it while you're watching the episode.
Always,
just
dude.
constantly.
Constant JO, dude.
You give it the old one-hander stander-upper every once in a while?
Yes, dude.
Hell yeah.
the old angry JO.
Yeah, the angry
but
JO.
I think, every time I tell you, but I am trying to enjoy, you always say, well, no, I also want to enjoy. But I'm like, no, I do think there is a difference, though. I will definitely call out things that I dislike or that I think are, like, weird or just don't make sense, which we're going to talk about some.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, for the most part, I am okay with things not being, like, what I was expecting, as long as I still enjoy what I'm seeing, I guess.
That's fine. And listen, I don't think it's, like, a bad thing that you're enjoying these slower episodes. I usually do as well. It's just the goings-ons of these characters is just not keeping me fully invested right now. Like, my dude Aegon, whom I love so much, is non-present. I mean, he's there, but he's not a factor, in this episode. Jace was a standout. I've loved him this season.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone else is just kind of spinning their wheels and doing nothing. And, like, if like, they are having good, like, conversations or, like, character moments while spinning their wheels, that can be fine, but I'm not getting that either. I feel like I'm getting nothing from a lot of the characters. But let's go through it.
That's disappointing.
Let's go through it scene by scene,
we'll
and maybe you can convince me. So the episode opens with Corlys kind of... we get some reactions of, basically, I'm assuming, people receiving the news. There's one of Corlys at Driftmark, and then there's one of Rhaenyra kind of looking out at Dragonstone. Not a lot there.
Right off the bat. No, see, right off the bat, Corlys sitting on the throne. I just thought it was... I felt the emotion.
Corlys has a good scene this episode, but it's not this one. This is like a nothing scene. It lasts like 20 seconds maximum.
Yeah, and it's still immediately I was transported back to, like, how sad I felt about Rhaenys.
See, I don't know what it is. The vibe was not there. I will say I got a better reaction from Corlys in the first episode of this season, where he was still kind of stunned about Luke's death when he was talking to Alan. I felt way more watching him think about that than I felt here. I just don't think he brought it in the same way. I'm being honest.
No. I mean, it was, you're right. It was a much shorter scene. It was just him, but, like, he looked heartbroken sitting on that. And then the close-up shot of his face with the tear. I believed it. I bought every second of it.
I didn't buy it. No, sorry.
Well, all right. We'll have to agree to disagree there.
Then we get... Oh, what? Did you have something to say about Rhaenyra?
No, all I was going to say is something I am kind of surprised about is we didn't see anything new get added to the tapestry in the beginning of the episode, like during the intro.
I'm going to be honest. I started skipping the intro.
That's wild to me. Like after Jaehaerys was beheaded, they added that.
Oh,
they also added the rat catchers being hung.
Oh, that's cool.
So like they're adding to it, but I would have assumed that they would have.
Yeah, you'd think you'd see like a dragon battle above a castle going on or something.
Right.
See, this is why I don't watch it. I knew it was going to be disappointing.
Oh my God. Here we go. See, I can already tell we're starting off on this fucking foot. The second I say something that I like, you're fucking rolling your eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, tell us what happened next.
Then we get a dragon head parade through King's Landing.
So bad.
Poor
so stupid.
Melees. Fuck these fuckers. It's not even a good strategy to like, hey, rally the townsfolk. Look what we have accomplished, because everyone is like super disturbed and like, no, this is bad. This is a bad omen.
It's a bad look. It's just such a dumbass fucking decision from Kristen Cole.
This is Cole's call, I'm assuming.
Like the idea of the Targaryens is that like they hold this like godlike status. Because they can't, because of their dragons.
You are literally proving to them, like the guy says it's just meat. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. Do you remember
Hugh,
Senior Blacksmith's name?
Yeah, Hugh.
It's just meat. So guy says something about, I thought they were gods. Yeah, you're ruining your own house's mystique, my guy. I mean, not his house, but you know what I mean. The house he is fighting for. Terrible decision. Just truly god-awful. They were sure keeping Aegon in that box for a long time. And I was like, okay, there's holes in the... I can just imagine the conversation of like, nah, he's fine. We poked holes in the box. It's cool. He can breathe in there. So I was like, okay, surely they would just have him in a sealed box if he was dead. But they sure dragged this box scene out for a long ass time. And I was like, maybe he is dead. I was starting to get convinced.
You know, that's so fun. I know that you won't relate because you never watched this, but like oh no, we poked holes in it. He's fine. Reminds me of this really funny scene in this old like Family Guy episode where I think Chris, the son, catches a frog. And he puts it in a shoebox, and I can't remember if it's him or Peter, but one of them's like, no, look, we poked holes in the box so that he could breathe, and then they open it up, and the frog has a bunch of holes poked in it, like they stabbed straight through the frog.
So stupid.
It's just such a dumb gag, but it's very funny.
No.
Anyway.
Aegon is alive,
yes.
which I'm very happy about. He's not looking so hot, though. Well, maybe he's looking very hot, actually. I think his armor was literally still steaming.
So it seemed like his armor was like almost like melted to his skin.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm sure it did. His armor had to have been superheated by the flames. And it was so gross when they were peeling that armor off him. Ooh.
Dude, yeah, it did not look great.
It wasn't okay. No.
Aemond is wearing Aegon's dagger.
Yeah.
The cat's paw dagger.
This brazen ass motherfucker.
I know, man. Alicent does notice this, and she begins to get suspicious.
Yeah. Every time Alicent looks at Aemond this episode, she's basically doing the like the monkey side-eye meme thing. Just every single fucking time where she's looking at him just like, something's not right here. She
just seems like, honestly, the last two episodes, she's just seems so like disgusted of her family.
Yeah.
I mean, Helena is the exception, obviously, but like she was just so annoyed and upset and disgusted with Aegon last episode, and I'm feeling the same way with her attitude towards Aemond.
Green Council is falling the fuck apart without Otto, my guy, can I just say? Like, why was there no discussion held about getting his ass back? Like, he wasn't even brought up, and I was like, that's a mistake. What are you fucking guys doing? Like, get Otto back here right the hell now. Who could possibly be better to rule in Aegon's stead on your side than Otto Hightower? Like, what are we even talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had problems with that scene. Is that next? Do we want to talk about that, or was there something before it?
I think, I mean, and I hadn't actually thought of that. But I guess the way that I'm like processing it now is like, does somebody who rules in his stead have to be somebody who's already appointed to like a station of authority?
I mean, well, I guess their logic is that Aemond is like next in line.
Sure.
But I thought, didn't they just establish that? No, they didn't. That's right. They only has one son. Alicent has another son that we don't.
Yes, Darren. Met.
Yes. Okay.
Correct.
But in the book, they had 3 children, and here they only have 2, and she's a daughter, right? So yeah, Aegon. Yes. I'm talking about Aegon's kids now.
Yes.
So
yes.
Aegon does not have a son to, quote unquote, be the next in line to rule. So
I can't remember, yeah.
To what you were saying, I guess my point was like, does Aemond have a proper position on the council? But I guess it doesn't matter because he's technically the next in line.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like you may be right, and that may have just been a bad writing, like oversight in them not even bringing it up. But I mean, maybe that does, like, you know, like they're not just gonna. Like, you couldn't just be like, oh, hey, this one guy is really smart who doesn't, like, who the king doesn't want to, you know, like, he doesn't have anything to do with him.
I just feel like none of them seem to be on bad terms with Otto. Like, the only one who was Aegon.
Yeah.
It just seems strange to me that
that's a good call out,
he was not brought up as a possibility at all. Like, not even as a, Aemond, you take care of things for now until Otto can travel here, you know, or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Alicent confronts Cole.
Yes, that's right.
And she wants to know what part Aemond played. She's like, what the fuck happened out there? And what did Aemond, you know, like what did Aemond do here? I think he also says like, oh, Aegon, like, the king fought valiantly. Like he's just blowing smoke. And then I guess I'll get to the second part of this because she
goes to him 2 separate times. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I liked Kristen Cole. I mean, I liked their acting together more the second time because she confronts him basically about the same thing. But he kind of like opens up a little bit more about, like, it just seems like he's really fucked up about seeing like the damage that the dragons can unleash.
That's what I was gonna say. The dude is a little shooketh, so to speak.
Yes.
Like he's got, this isn't just his typical like kind of aloofness or like kind of just like his normal act. Like he's suffering from some like a bit of like PTSD of like, these dragons are fucked.
Right.
Like I don't think he appreciated it until this moment.
Alicent basically is like, are you not gonna fucking back me up, my guy? Like,
only in the bedroom will you back me up?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's literally what she says.
Basically, yeah.
And he expresses his like, him being like shell shocked almost at like what he witnessed on the battlefield. And he does say, which I thought is a good line, we've given the war to the dragons. A dragon rider should be the one to lead us. Yeah. And I like that. And I liked Cole in that interaction. The more I spend time around this character, like, I mean, he is a dipshit. He's a fucking idiot. Like, especially him parading Meleys through the city, but like,
dumb move.
Him in his more like commander, like military headspace, there's something about him that is like is interesting. I'm not gonna say I like the character because like he, again, like I said, I mean he is still a dipshit, but he does add an element of like of intrigue, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like what's he gonna do? How's he, like how's he gonna command through this? Or like, I don't know. I guess
No, I'll say
it's
it.
not
I
instant
like him.
hate.
I like him. He's the worst, but like I've said many times, he does it in a way that I can jive with. Like I really appreciated last episode how like his first thought after getting all like fucked up and wind knocked out of him and everything that was going on with him was we have to find the king. We have to find the king. We must get to the king. And he was horrified and like dumbstruck by what Aemond had done and seen Aegon, and now here he is, still grappling with and dealing with the horrors that the dragons kind of wrought upon the battlefield.
Yes.
And I think that's just good character work for him. He's not an emotionless, just kind of statue all the time.
Yes. And like his character build really needed it because like he definitely satisfied the idea of like, fuck this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate this fucking character. And like he filled that space really well, but like that can really only go on for so long before it's just super dry.
Right.
So seeing him in this new like light of him being, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard and also Hand of the King, and him getting the chance to kind of like put on his armor and go out to battle, I do really like the difference in his personality that we're seeing simply for the interest.
Sure. I agree. I do like that line that you said too, where he talked about giving it over to the Dragon Riders. I think he's got a point again, but just like Aemond is I know he has faith in Aemond. Aemond's his boy, but Aemond literally just showed you and proved to you what a loose unit and how he will do anything for power. So I don't know about you backing up Aemond there, old Coley, but I guess I get it.
I don't,
because he doesn't like Otto either. So
right. I don't know that I feel like Aemond is necessarily like a power hungry, like power for the sake of power. I feel like he knows that he lives up to the expectations of a leader better than Aegon, and he's resented Aegon for, like he's resented Aegon and his parents, I feel like.
Sure. Oh, definitely.
His whole life because of that. So it's almost like he wants to rule out of spite is the feel that I get.
No,
not
sure.
that he's like, I just want to be in power because I'm power hungry.
I mean, no, listen, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think the end result is still not ideal.
Sure.
Is my point. Is like whether he wants to rule because he's purely power hungry or he wants to rule out of spite, like it's not great either way.
Okay. I think he's a more capable ruler, like a more capable leader,
course,
especially in wartime,
Sure. Will he be a more ruthless, like, dictator type ruler? Probably. Because at the very least, Aegon was like, yeah, take whatever you want. I want to be loved. That's great. Let me just give you things.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see, like, obviously, I think, if Aegon was going to die, he would have died there.
Yeah, for sure.
He is going to live and still rule.
I wonder what it's going to be like when we see them together.
Right. That's what I'm most curious about as well.
Okay, let's keep this thing moving.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little about Rhaenyra's
council,
small council scene. My note is kind of short here. It's a fine scene, but it is still just more of the same.
Yeah.
Her high lords are challenging her and telling her that she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. And like this is one of the small things that it's starting to like get a little deafening to me.
Yes, thank you.
Like
this is like the fifth one of this exact scene that we've already seen.
Basically, yes, yeah. And it's difficult because like, and I know you don't super care about Rhaenyra, but like I really like Rhaenyra and I really like her acting. So I just like I genuinely enjoy seeing her on screen. So like I see the scene and I'm like cool, like it's Rhaenyra, and like I'm in this moment with Rhaenyra and whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm taking notes and I'm like, I've written these notes 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
written this same fucking sentence. So like it is moving more. It's moving the needle more and more with the relationship that she has with her small council, and it's starting to get to where like she's realizing that she needs the help and that she can't keep doing the things but it's just taken a bit long to get there.
Right. The one positive I will say that is from this is that she has finally like acknowledged that she doesn't know, because Viserys did not train her for this.
Yes.
She knows the lords, she knows people, but she does not know wartime because she was born, a woman instead of a male. And she's admitting that and seemingly trying to maybe, delegate to, the proper people. But again, it just took way too long to get there. And too many of these scenes that basically followed the exact same structure.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's I will say I'm not like, it's not something that's like ruining the episode by any means, but it's definitely it is just like, let's get past this.
I would have a hard time calling anything in this episode outright bad. Like, I did not like this. This was bad. But by the same token, there's very little that made me be like, oh, that's really good. I really enjoyed that. It's just like kind of a bland bowl of porridge type episode for me. There wasn't anything like overly offensive about it.
Sure.
There wasn't anything that great. So anyway.
Okay.
Jason, Baela, right? This is Baela.
Yes.
Have a little chat.
Mm-hmm.
I will say something that bugged me a little bit throughout this episode is people don't seem to be as torn up about Rhaenys' death as I am, and I expected them to be. Like, Rhaenyra seems to...
Well, no, the person that's actually torn up about it, you just didn't like his fucking scene.
I didn't buy his acting, I'm sorry. Baela and what is her sister's name? I can never remember.
Rhaena.
Like, barely react to it. Rhaenyra barely reacts to it. Those are like people that were very close to Rhaenys. I don't know. It just bugged me a little bit because no one seemed that torn up about Rhaenys dying. But anyway, Jace is like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the Freys. We got to get the Freys involved in this because, of course."
He brings up Cregan Stark in his.
You know what? That was a giant letdown, if I'm going to be honest, because the previously on showed the North stuff, and it was like, here's Cregan Stark, all these North folk are marching south, and then how does that tie into this current episode? They mention them like once, and I was like...
Okay, fuck off, Scott.
No,
look, hey, I'm disappointed I didn't see them.
No.
Jace's entire fucking plot in this episode is to secure passage for them.
Yes.
So they do tie into the plot, but we just don't see them.
They showed more of the North in the previously on than, yes, we got on this episode. Like, you have to do more than that. Show me them traveling at the very least. Like, there was nothing involved with that. You can't get my hopes up like that and then deliver absolutely nothing.
That's called edging, buddy. And
exactly.
and we endorse that.
No, not we. You're the edging expert
endorse
around here.
that.
You
on
do
this
not
podcast.
put this evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Mythkeepers is a proud endorser of edging TM.
Edging TM. No. Anyway, he's like, hey, let me go get the Freys. And then he does it. Listen, I've been saying it for episodes now. Jace is the only fucking one getting anything done. And that remains true.
Yeah, man, I like Jace a lot.
Yeah, Jace is great. If only we got more of him.
His scene with Baela's pretty good too. I mean, like, I think this was the first scene where the way, I mean, mind you, it's not like romantic in any sense.
No.
Like that was not the tone of it, but it was the first time that like I saw them on screen together, and it was like, oh right, like
They're betrothed.
They're betrothed. Like
Right.
they are partners.
Yep.
Because the way that she like approaches him and like is supportive in a way, and he talks like he confides in her. I believe that, and I was reminded of that because I had forgotten. We just hadn't got a chance to see them on screen together like that. So I liked that. I appreciated that small, quick scene.
Yeah, when are they gonna tie the knot? Like, I don't know what age they're supposed to be, but they seem old enough at this point. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe they're not just gonna do it in the middle of wartime. I don't know. But no,
Yeah.
I agree. I like their. You're right. It's not like overtly romantic, but they have a good partnership, I think is a good word.
Yes.
And they're like, you know, kind of bouncing ideas and things off of each other, and they have an understanding, you know,
Yes.
which I think is good because, you know, very often in this, you know, ice and fire world, it's, you know, arranged marriages and stuff like that. It's like, you never know how things are going to turn out, but they seem to generally be good for each other, which I like. So, yeah, what next, Zach?
Yeah, so my next notes are
Oh God,
about Harrenhal.
Damon.
Okay.
Damon.
So listen, this is I wanna shed or just like share a little bit of my is it a disclaimer? Okay.
I don't know. Is it?
I guess I am fully aware that book readers are likely seeing a lot of this stuff happen at Harrenhal. I don't know. I mean, I'm doing my best to like.
You're speculating.
I'm speculating, but I'm doing my best to like not engage with any of that stuff online. Right. So I guess I don't know
spoiled.
if you guys are right. Of course, I have to assume that there's stuff happening at Harrenhal that book readers are probably like getting some like fan service type stuff to them, like because there's a lot of things that I don't fully grasp, or there's stuff that like happens while Damon is at Harrenhal and the show's just choosing to omit it, like it's happening in the background and we just don't get to see it on screen, so like people are aware of what's going on so they're liking it or something like that. But like I don't know, man, like this is almost more tiring than Rhaenyra's small council scenes. Like, I feel like I've gotten the same shit every time.
No,
like, just
it just straight up is more tiring. Like, it's just... Yes. The Damon stuff... The Damon was a large chunk of this episode. And I don't... Like, I know he's a wild card. He's been a wild card from day one. But I just, even taking that into account, I don't know what he's doing. Or like...
I don't think he knows what he's doing.
I mean, he thinks he does.
No, I don't. I genuinely do not believe that he knows what he's doing.
No, and I guess that's the point. But I'm sorry, it just does not make for very interesting television. And it's now been going on for 3-4 episodes now.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just roast those fuckers and then be like, hey, this is what happens to your leaders when you don't join me. Do it, or I'll do the same to you. Instead, he tells the Blackwood guy, hey, go kill their, like, small folk. Go fucking
kill everyone.
Go kill their small folk, because that will make them join us. What kind of a plan is this? I don't understand at all what his thought process is here.
I am curious, like, is this what happens? Like, okay, actually...
That's only going to piss them off more.
Yeah. I feel like Damon is like the war criminal here.
Well, I mean,
like, but like several times over. So like, I don't know, maybe this is what he does. He's a fucking weirdo, dude. Like
But even as that weirdo war criminal, in my mind, it would just be way more, hey, I'm going to rule you as under fear. I've got a fucking dragon. join me or you burn. I just don't understand how he thinks that the Blackwoods and Brackens already hate each other. If I send the Blackwoods to go kill all your small folk, then they'll join me. Where does that thought connect? How is that going to work?
Yeah, I
unless
don't
I'm
know.
just completely missing something.
It's okay. So my understanding of this is he says there are things the crown must not be seen to do.
Right.
Show them your worst.
I assume they weren't supposed to be carrying the Targaryen banners. Well, here's another thing. Was that a dream he was having? Or did that actually happen when all the people came in and started accusing him of all this heinous shit?
No, I think that was a dream.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, I think that was real.
Okay. Because at first I thought this is a dream, and I was like, wait, no, this actually might be real. And that's another part of the problem is that I fucking never know what's going on with Daemon. Daemon doesn't know what's going on with Daemon. He's banging his mom and then waking up eating goose. Should we talk about that scene?
Yeah. Well, hold on.
I just kind of threw it out there.
I think that if they were feeling the pressure of shit, like our small folk are going to keep dying. We also can't go to the Lord of the Riverlands for aid because he's on his deathbed and he's also a fuckwit. We have to yield. So I understand that logic on paper. I do think the Brackens flying the Targaryen banner is the issue.
No,
because the other
right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. The other lords wouldn't have known. They would have speculated, but they wouldn't have known.
Okay, so the idea is that they go to Daemon, like, hey, rescue us. Well, but don't they know that? No, because, Blackwood is standing with Daemon on Dragonback and giving them the terms. They know he's with the Blackwoods.
I think what I'm saying is that all this shit could have happened, and the Brackens would have known, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody else, everybody else would have speculated, but they probably wouldn't have been like daring enough to call him out, like directly to his face and say, fuck you. But the Blackwoods were flying the Targaryen banner. So that led all the other river lords to,
right,
come to a consensus to say, fuck this guy.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, look, it's sloppy, it's messy. This is how I'm making it make sense in my brain. I don't know if that's actually like the intent there.
Right. See, this is I think this is just not the best writing because we're both having to like rationalize and make sense of it.
Yes.
It should be more clear than this.
Okay. But the mom.
Yeah.
I feel like this is kind of in bad taste because of the scene that we just got, but that woman who plays that mom is very attractive. And that was like, I saw this and I was like, oh, what is happening here?
Yeah, listen, you're 100% spot on with your first comment, but let's call a rose a rose. I was like, that scene started and I was like, who is this hot Targaryen princess that just came out of nowhere? Like, is this a memory, a dream? It has to be a dream. She did look a lot like, it wasn't the same
Emma.
actress. Yes, but she looked a lot like Emma.
Yeah.
Which was Viserys's wife.
Correct.
Rhaenyra's mother. Yeah, no, she was very attractive. That was a very strange moment. Listen, his ass is getting haunted and cursed and all this shit. Like, I'm not gonna call out Daemon for being too much of a fucking weirdo, but
it's not like, no, I mean, that's not how I took it. Now,
right.
when I saw this scene, I definitely thought, oh, some people are not gonna like this. Like,
sure.
this is tiptoeing a line that maybe some people are a little uncomfortable with, but I mean, yeah, I think it's many forms of art will do that, and I think it's just a very good depiction of like. I think really what's more important about the scene is the words that are being said.
Sure. Yes.
Like she is affirming him.
Yes.
She's telling him, like, I've always loved you more. Like, you should have been king.
Yeah, we called this
you
and
make me
speculated
proud.
this about this, that he is for sure, like, he tells, I think it's Lord Strong, straight
Simon.
up, like, I'm going to march into King's Landing, and I'm king then. And if Rhaenyra wants to come rule as my queen, cool. But I am king. The regent, not so much, buddy boy. So he is straight up finally laying it out. That is what he intends to do.
There's two things I wanted to call out, and I learned some of this stuff after last week's episode. So the first thing is that I think you'll probably appreciate this or like this a bit. Some lore here about Meleys and Vhagar, and Alyssa, or Lisa, I'm not sure how it's said, but Daemon and Viserys' mom, the person he was having sex with in the dream.
Right.
One. She is the previous writer of Meleys.
Oh yeah, don't they? No, I heard something about that, but I can't remember where now.
What's wild is Alyssa, Viserys and Daemon's mother, and her brother, who she was married to and very deeply in love with, they were the writers of Meleys and Vhagar.
Okay. And
it's apparently said that any moment that they weren't together, like at court, they were flying Meleys and Vhagar together, like just flying over the Seven Kingdoms and like just being so in love and like having fun, cute dragon flights together and everything. And so I learned this after last episode, and I was like, oh, that's so sad that Vhagar had to be the one to kill Meleys.
Sure.
Because of that.
Vhagar's got so old and got so many cataracts, he couldn't even tell who. She couldn't even tell who that was.
Truly. But then also, I because I knew that, I saw this and, learned obviously that this is his mom. And I was like, that's interesting that he has this dream right when Meleys dies, and she used to be I don't know if that means anything. That was just a connection that I made in my head.
There was a moment during this whole sequence when I was like, is Alice Rivers real? Is this just a figment, a ghost, a part of the curse? But then they very specifically, there was a scene that showed where Simon Strong was walking in, and he looked and watched Alice Rivers like leave the room after they were talking. So I was like, okay, I don't think that's the case anymore.
That's a cool thought, because I had it too. I was like, this could be some like some Fight Club,
some Tyler Durden shit going on.
Tyler Durden shit, for sure.
But yeah, unless they're really just trying to misdirect or don't know how to be consistent, I don't know. Like they lingered on that, like because he very specifically looked at her for a long time.
I said this last week or the week before, but she's obviously like a very important character. There's no way. Like she's had too much screen time. Yeah. She's doing too much weird shit. Like,
she's got to be real. Yeah.
She's gonna be something to
surely
somebody.
Her and Daemon bang at some point. Like that's got to happen.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. Fuck. I don't.
Daemon's so messed up. I just feel like he's gonna wake up and think he's like at supper eating a goose, but he's actually eating Alice Rivers. That keeps happening to him.
Might
he
happen.
Thinks he's in bed, but he's actually got his dick in a duck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dick in a duck.
Dick in a duck. Love a good dick in a duck. All right. Anything else about Harrenhal? We just should get all that out of the way now.
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, you did kind of just breeze right over the fact that he did officially say like, nah, I'm going to fucking do it, and I'm going to be king, and, whatever. So,
no, yeah, that's like, we had kind of talked about that very early on. We were like, is he just being like an asshole by making him call him your grace, or is he going to genuinely make a claim? And he's making a play. So
I also, on this note, sorry, I'm getting a little ahead here, but I feel like Rhaenyra sending Sir, what's his name, Arthur?
Oh, his ass is dead. His ass is so dead.
I think that's just such a bad, like, honestly, I think the only thing that's going to make Daemon, like, get his shit together is if Rhaenyra goes. Because every time that he's acted out in a weird fucking way, she's been the only one. Like when, like, do you remember last season when he, like, seals the dragon egg?
Mm-hmm.
And he's being a real fucking sourpuss to Otto.
Sourpuss. Yes,
and Rhaenyra flies up and, like, whips his ass into shape.
Yes, but also the last conversation they did have in person where she confronted him straight up, his ass just left. So what else can she do? Because I had that thought as well. I was like, this dude ain't gonna do nothing. Rhaenyra needs to deal with this herself. But I also don't know what good that's gonna do either.
I bet she fixes whatever issue, the problems that are happening in the Riverlands with the River Lords. And then Cregan Stark and his Northmen are also riding south, and they're going to be going through the Riverlands. And she's probably going to be like, look, dude, like, I actually have a fucking army now, and you swore your shit to me, so are you going to fucking do this or not?
I don't think he's going to. Spoiler alert. Like,
I don't know. I feel, look, this is being set up in a way, look, I'm going to call it right now. Like, he's going to end up dying for Rhaenyra. He's gonna sacrifice himself for Rhaenyra in some way.
You're probably right.
There's no way that doesn't happen. That's just storytelling.
That's storytelling, baby.
That is just how it works.
True. The problem is every time I think Daemon's gonna do something, he just does something else. So
you think he's gonna zig and he zags.
Exactly, and that's when he zogs. Let me tell you about a scene I did really enjoy.
Yes,
which
please.
is a strange one to call out, but I really liked it. Is the scene in the Vale with the girl whose name I can't remember and this new Lady Aaron. I thought this scene was
it's Rhaena, by the way.
Rhaena, okay. Oh, of course it is. Yeah, this scene was not long, didn't involve any characters I like overly care about, but the dialogue was good,
solid,
witty. And also I'm interested to see where this goes because this Lady Aaron seems like an interesting character. Isn't this like Rhaenyra's sister-in-law or something like that? She's like closely related to Rhaenyra. I think.
She is somewhat related, yes. Yeah, because I remember when they're talking about who they can call as allies, she says,
yes.
Surely my cousin wouldn't abandon her kin or something like that. Like,
right. She said she called out some relation in the Vale. I know that for sure. I just can't remember how they're related, but
it is pretty funny that she's like, yo, dude, come on. I asked for a fucking dragon.
It's like, hey, we brought you two. Like, you're making out like a bandit. Like, you did not specify the size of the dragons, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was good stuff.
It was a good scene. It is pretty savage. She's like, oh, sorry to hear about your grandmother.
Yeah.
Fucking throws the glitter and walks away.
Throws the glitter. I almost wondered for a moment if like that was how she found out, but she didn't react that way. Like surely she knew before this.
No, I think that is how she found out. I think,
I don't. That reaction didn't.
Oh, dude, come on! If somebody says
shock.
like, if somebody says that to you like offhanded, like it's gonna take a second to process, and I think that's what we saw.
Maybe
I think she was like.
Well, you just did a better response than she did then.
For the audio listeners, just use your imagination.
Use your imagination, exactly. All right, what else happens this fucking episode, Zach?
Yeah, so
we get a thrilling scene with our favorite character.
Wait. Okay. Oh, you know what, dude?
Shut up.
Listen,
don't do
man.
it. Don't you
no,
dare.
Dude.
Don't
no,
you dare.
I enjoyed it. Fuck off, Scott. You're so bent on hating a character. Once you make up your mind about something.
Too.
Okay, no. Let me finish, bitch.
You have hated her way more than me for the record.
Let me finish.
Okay.
You have written her off, so therefore any involvement of her, you fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I thought the context of this conversation was very good. You put a different character saying the exact same words, having the exact same scene, and it's great. Like, I liked
Well,
this scene.
Ideally, any other character could act their way out of a paper bag. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying I like the story of what's happening here, man. Like, that's what I'm telling you.
The writing can be world class, but if the performance is shit on a stick, it doesn't matter. And I was, if you will recall, I was the one in episode 1 who says, no, she's toned down her accent a bit. It's not as bad. And you were like, it's still fucking awful, blah.
I mean, it is still pretty terrible. And even in this scene, it's still fucking terrible.
It's
like,
so distracting.
All I'm saying is that this was an interaction between Mysaria and Rhaenyra that I appreciated that this conversation happened. I think Rhaenyra needed it to happen, and I think it shows a very, very good a moment of growth and realization for Rhaenyra.
I think Rhaenyra should have had this conversation with literally anyone else because it is good character moment for her. But why is she confiding in this fucking rando is my question. And now
she doesn't have any women
she's just
in the fucking on Dragonstone, dude.
She should have said she never talked to Rhaenys this way. Yes, she has Baela. She has her stepdaughter. This conversation absolutely should have happened with Baela. Or even Jace, for fuck's sake. I know he wasn't there at the time, but
yeah.
This is just setting up for Mysaria to be like her master of whisperers or whatever. And I'm just
I mean, if you hadn't seen that
for
3 episodes now,
then
just
fucking
then you're an absolute idiot.
I had seen it. I was just in denial, Zach.
Okay, well then you've done that yourself.
I was swimming in Egypt. I was in denial. It's such a terrible joke.
It's so fucking stupid. I hate you so
what
much.
Else happens?
Yeah, okay. So my next note is Aemond. We kind of already talked about this. He gets elected regent. All my note that I didn't say earlier is that this smug little piece of shit, the way he grabbed that ball and looked at everybody and sat down. I can't
stand this guy, dude. I can't. Like, there's like no reason anyone should be going to bat for this little fucker. Like, he doesn't say anything. He's wearing the king's dagger and no one wants to call him on that. And he's just such a smug little bitch. Of course, they're not going to listen.
Scared of him.
They're not going to listen to Alicent because she's the only woman in the room. You know, this is the man's council. So they all just like, oh, this is the easy answer, I guess. I guess we'll just defer to creepy ass Aemond. Yeah, no, they probably are. They're like, did you see that knife he's got? He'll slit our throats if we don't.
And he has Vhagar.
Yeah, also that. I can't fucking stand him, dude.
Yeah, no, I came around on him as bearable in the last 2 episodes.
You liked him from the beginning. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, no, but I agreed with you that he'd kind of fallen off, and I just was not really interested in him, and he was gonna have to do some shit for me to care about him again. And I think he's done it. I care about what his character's doing. Like,
all
he's just whatever.
Is possess the world's largest dragon. Let's be real here. That's all he's really done.
I mean, I guess.
He's got the biggest nuke, and he's playing it well, to his credit, I suppose.
Yeah, he also killed Rhaenys and Meleys.
Yeah, well, again, Vhagar did that.
Well, yes, but
that's my point. It's like, if he didn't have Vhagar, he doesn't have shit.
He's still a good warrior.
It's not like he's charismatic and like, has proven that he can like lead or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Sure.
Again, I would just like to reiterate, zero mention of Otto here. That is an oversight so large I can't even begin to quantify it. And then we get more your boy Hugh. Zach, tell me about Hugh. Tell me the story of the Hugh.
Yeah, so I mean, really my note is so we get this scene with Hugh. Again, I think that he's going to be important to some degree, otherwise we wouldn't be seeing him. And then my mind started wandering. And I thought about how
Oh, shit.
I'm pretty sure it was that episode where we were shown Hugh and then Alan and Adam in the same episode, and we were very confused about them.
Yeah.
And my note here says, I feel like these, quote, nothing characters will end up having to be like Dragon Riders or something.
Whatever happened to the guy that said he had Targaryen blood in him?
He's going to be one also. I didn't even think of that until just right now.
That wasn't Hugh. That
No,
was
it wasn't
some
Hugh.
guy Hugh was like drinking with, right? Or was Hugh even present? I don't think
he was there.
That's just some dude in a bar. That's like,
who said he was like
Targaryen
a half brother of like Daemon and Viserys.
That's right. Yep.
So these people, Alan, Adam,
Hugh,
and I hadn't even thought of the guy in the bar, but yes, that guy also, Hugh. We just got this episode about like, fuck, we need Dragon Riders. I'm telling you.
I know this is later, but I fucking, it's so funny to me. This is what me and my coworker Alec were talking about today. Shouts to Alec. It's so funny that they are just now coming to the realization that, oh shit, we need Dragon Riders. It's like, what have you guys been doing? What are you talking about? How are you just now coming to this stunning realization?
I mean, I don't think it's a stunning realization.
No, they played it like I was. It was literally the end of episode stinger was, hey, there are more people out there with Targaryen blood, and we need Dragon Riders.
Okay, well, that is a fucking revelation. Not the fact that they need
that is
Dragon Riders.
A revelation. That's like a Ned Stark realizing Joffrey's got blonde hair realization. That is not a real realization. Come on, Zachary.
Nah, man. Look, dude, I can't. I'm struggling with your dismissal of fucking everything.
It's not something you end an episode on as a cliffhanger. It was so underwhelming, is my point. If that happened somewhere else in that episode, if that was just a normal scene in the episode, it's like, okay, good, they're thinking about these things. Not as a dun 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 fade to credits. That shit's important.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I don't agree with you. I'm just, okay. I understand what you're saying.
Was there anything else you wanted to say about Hugh? Because then they don't get out of the city also. That was that made me feel bad for their daughter.
Do you agree or disagree with what my thoughts?
Well, no. Like, I mean, is Hugh also a bastard then?
I don't know.
Well, you think he's going to be a Dragon Rider, right?
My obvious thing is like he's going to play a part in something somehow. But where my mind started to wander was like we got an introduction of him, Alan, and Adam in the same episode, and we were very confused.
Right.
Like, who are these fucking people? And then we're starting to realize, like, oh shit, Alan and Adam are people that could probably claim dragons. Like, and we keep getting these scenes of this fucking guy Hugh. So, like, I just feel like the breadcrumbs they're on the same trajectory.
I could use more Alan at this point. Like, we just found out that he's Corlys's bastard. Like, could have had him this episode for sure. I don't know what his ass is doing, but anyway. Listen, I feel bad for Hugh's family because he seems like a stand-up dude. But it's just like, okay, I've seen this scene before. Like, can we get somewhere with this storyline? Is all I'm saying. Let's see what else happens here.
I mean, I feel like his storyline, like this episode, was to remind us that, hey, this guy still exists.
This guy's no, sure.
And also, it parallels with what Missaria had just been saying. Like, the small folk in King's Landing are going stir crazy, and they're being fucked over, and they're going to turn into a mob. Like, it's
Right.
I think we saw it through Hugh's perspective because we need the reminder that, hey, I'm still a character and I'm probably going to be important. But I think it was just kind of an echo of what Mysaria had delivered to Rhaenyra.
Yes. Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you're saying.
Okay.
A lovely bridge luncheon. Is that what I think is next? Or were you going to talk about something else? We kind of already touched on this, but
the only... Oh, that's what this note is from. Sorry, it's because we covered all the
yeah, we covered all the
Harrenhal stuff.
Yeah, we've jumped.
The only note I had is that Alice Rivers tells Daemon, I hear strange things from Brackenland, and he's like, oh, so you've heard word, like you're hearing people talking about shit, and she says, no, what I hear from the wind, and I just like. The only thing that I find interesting about any of the Harrenhal stuff is what in the fuck is Alice Rivers? Like that's what I want to know.
As memory serves, there was a character in the book when Arya was with the Brotherhood Without Banners that they went and talked to, who she also had, like, she said some old, like, prophet soothsayer type lady. She may have also said something about hearing stuff on the wind, or maybe it was the trees. I can't remember.
I have seen people on Twitter and on TikTok. I don't think it's true, by the way. It's fun to speculate. That think that she could be Melisandre, that she could be young Melisandre.
Yeah,
which I don't buy that at all. I feel like she'd be in Essos. I feel like she probably is alive during this period, though.
She could be.
But yeah, no, I don't think it's Alice Rivers. But anyway,
I'm still on the Alice Rivers is not real band. No, I'm just kidding. I don't actually think that. Yeah, the Frey luncheon on the bridge. Again, Jace. I will always give props to Jace because his ass is getting shit done. I love that. It's just like, Daemon's got hair and all. This will surely piss him off. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, absolutely. It's yours, baby. Let's do it.
I think he is a good character, man.
Yeah,
I think Jace is great.
Jace has glowed up, growed up, the whole 9 yards.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, there's no like specific thing is that like I needed to talk. Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. I'm lying to you. There's a sweeping shot at the end of that.
Oh yeah, true.
When it pulls away from the twins, dude,
yeah.
It looks so beautiful.
Yep.
God damn, dude.
Whatever that river was that they shot, that looks amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Okay. I want to talk about this scene.
Okay. Let's see.
Baela and Corlys.
Oh, you mean probably the best scene in the episode?
This was the best scene in the episode.
Yeah, easily.
So earlier in the episode, Rhaenyra gives Baela
a box.
The box that has the hand of the queen.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? And says, "Here, go give this to your grandpappy."
Better late than never, I suppose, Rhaenyra. Jesus Christ.
Dude.
But we did call this. We were like, it's got to be Corlys, right?
It has to be Corlys, yeah. So we get this scene on Driftmark where Corlys is still just like super fucked up about Rhaenys.
And his grief was believable this time.
Which I totally believed since the first scene, and he's still grieving. And Baela shows up, and she just starts kind of having a nice little grandpappy granddaughter chat, and eventually tells him, "Yo, are you gonna fucking do something? Like,
truly,
are you gonna just fucking sit and be sad, or go fucking like sail away and run away from shit, or like, or are you gonna actually like live up to the remarkably like powerful woman that your wife was?"
Right. Because he even says, like, I think she challenges him and is like, well, what else would you do if you're not going to fight? And he says something to the effect of, like, sail into the west somewhere. and sail away. And she calls his ass. She's like, wow, that wouldn't be the first time you abandoned those who needed you to go chase, wild whatevers. And it was good stuff.
It was very good. There's one part that I had a realization, and I was like, man, that fucking sucks. She says something about like him bringing like gifts and riches and whatever from like E.T. and Ashai. And she says, and you did it all for her.
Yeah.
And it's a very sweet moment. And then like a half a second went by, and I was like, yo, this guy has 2 bastard children with another woman. So that's not tight.
Yeah, listen. Those voyages are long as hell, bro. No, in all seriousness, I have come all the way around on Corlys since season 1. I was not too big of a fan. I have liked Corlys quite a bit this season.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he's a good
actor, and he really, really sells grief. He's just really good at portraying
in this particular scene.
grief.
Yes, he does. Agreed. This one particular scene and the scene in episode 1. Agreed. No, it's good. His ass he's I think he's seen later fully grasping the badge, so his ass didn't take it for sure.
He does say that he wants her to be his heir.
Yeah, and she's like, nah, bitch.
And she says, I am blood and fire. Driftmark must pass to salt and sea. Which is a banger line from Baela.
It's a little corn, but I'm here for it. That's the kind of corn that I'm here for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I'm into it. Yeah. I like Baela.
I like Baela quite a bit.
Yeah.
Last couple things here. We already touched on this. Rhaenyra sends Sir Alfred. So I think I called him Sir Arthur earlier.
That's
Sir
Batman's
Alfred
butler.
To treat with Daemon, figure out his intentions. Which I think I'm glad she's at least like
impossible task. By the way, no one, especially David, don't know what his fucking intentions are.
Yeah, absolutely. The Lords of the Riverlands denounce Daemon. We already talked about this.
And we're sure that's not a dream, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, just double checking.
Here's something I wanted to talk about.
Uh-huh.
So this woman sneaks into King's Landing.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming she's sent by Mysaria and or Rhaenyra.
Well, both. She says Mysaria to the guard.
And she, once the guard lets her in, she knocks on a door. And I don't know if you noticed this, but the woman that answered the door was
lady, right?
It was the handmaid that Aegon raped in season 1.
Oh, it was?
Yes. It's the same actress. It was the same woman.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. I don't know what to make of that, but I know it was her. Yeah, I mean, I think what I'm led to believe is that like this woman is in King's Landing to like incite a riot. I am assuming the plan is to make the small folk rise up.
That's what I took away from this as well.
She could also be getting dirt on Aegon. Like if she is meeting with that woman.
Why do they need dirt on Aegon? His ass is
I don't know, man.
half dead in a bed.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, okay. We get an impressive shot of Daemon in front of the Iron Throne. And Helena walks up and asks just very simply, huh?
Aemond. You said Daemon.
Did I say? Okay, yeah, sorry. I meant Aemond.
Yeah.
Helena asks, was it worth the price? So she fucking knows.
Fuck you, Aemond.
She fucking knows.
Everyone knows.
Well, no, but she knows.
Yeah, true. She probably saw it happen or something.
Yes.
In her visions.
And anything else there in King's Landing that you had, Scott?
I don't think so.
Okay. the last thing I had was when Jace returns home,
Right.
and speaks with Rhaenyra. I liked the scene quite a bit. I thought their conversation was great. My notes here are just simply if Jace hadn't already won me over, like he's just constantly doing this every time I see him on screen. Rhaenyra does tell him that she's proud of the great service that he'd done for their cause. And she also kind of admits that she's going a little stir crazy as well. Like she wants to ride off into battle also.
I think it's fine for her to feel that way, but she's also got to look at what just happened to the other leader that rode off into battle on.
Yes.
Like, of all the times to be really gunning for that, Exhibit A, Aegon is a roasty toasty marshmallow in a fucking bed right now. Like, I sympathize with her, and I don't fully disagree because, again, the dragons are the most powerful weapon you have in this war. It's like the only weapon you have currently until your army arrives. But again, look at what happened to Aegon, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's difficult though. Like I definitely kind of empathize with this position because she's like, well, no, I have other dragon riders I can send, but I'm supposed to be protecting them. Like I need to protect Baela. I need to protect Jace, you know? I can't rely on Daemon. So she's feeling like, well, fuck, man. Like, do I need to do this shit myself?
Yeah.
Which sucks. I mean, that's a shit position to be in.
I think she's coming to terms with this, but she needs to have more faith in, especially Jace.
Yes,
but Jace and Baela. Like,
yeah,
and I feel like in this conversation, she was coming to terms with and realizing that how capable he is after what he just got done at the Twins.
Yeah,
but like, she needs to like. That's what he. You know, yes, he's the heir, but he's not the king yet. Like, he needs to be able to do these things.
Yes. Yeah, agreed. And lastly, he explains to her that I do like that I feel like in this episode as a whole, but especially in this moment, we get like a really clear depiction of like propaganda.
True.
You know, he's like
the Valyrian propaganda that
he's like, okay, the history is
dragons.
written by the Valyrians.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, surely other people can claim dragons. Which I think is cool. It's just kind of an interesting, like, I think, tone. And we get the idea that, hey, well, we need to find some dragon riders to mount up on all these extra dragons that we have.
Because he calls out two specifically. I do not remember their names. Vermithrex was one of them.
Vermithor.
And he says they're like as big as or a match for Vhagar or something along those lines.
I think Vermithor is like around the same size. Right. Maybe a little smaller, but
sure.
Like very close.
Well, yeah, Vhagar is straight up like the biggest, but yeah. I think he must be real big, he or she. Yeah, listen, again, this is a totally fine scene. There's nothing wrong with it, but like this is not an episode ending powerful scene. It's just kind of like,
see,
sure,
I guess to me, dude, I wasn't looking for, oh, this needs to be powerful. All I wanted after a slower episode, which I did think had good and powerful character moments, is I wanted an ending that made me feel like there was a clear path, like a clear direction to be going. And that's what this gave me. Like that is their next goal. They need to find dragon riders. So it gives me expectations and gives me something to look forward to. I don't feel like we're just like in this space of like, well, what the fuck are we doing?
No, that's fair enough. Like it gives direction moving forward, but I also feel like this is something they should have realized and been working on like a while ago. Like, you got to figure this stuff out. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Was there anything else about the episode?
I think that's pretty much everything I've got. Yeah, who won this week for you? I mean, I know who won for me, but
was it Corlys's actor?
Just that one scene.
Just that one.
Yeah, just the one scene in the beginning.
Gosh,
Scott, if it's not Jace, I don't know what the fuck
no,
you're doing.
listen,
man.
I'm trying to think if it's anyone besides Jace that I can
It could be
think of.
Baela. It's between Jace and Baela.
I like Baela, but no. It's Missaria, honestly, I think.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Scotty's new favorite character, Missaria,
I can't believe
the white worm.
You defended her. I did not see that outcome coming.
Listen, I'm just not so much of a fucker as you are, dude.
No, that's
true. All it is.
You know what's very funny is my boy Marcus. Shouts to my boy Marcus. He was not aware of our rebrand, and I saw him for the first time in like a year the other day, and he was like, "How come you guys aren't doing the podcast anymore? I missed it for your House of the Dragon episodes." I was like, "Oh, we are." I was like, "Oh, you don't know we changed." Anyway, this was last Thursday, and like a day and a half later, he kept texting me, and he was just binging all of our House of the Dragon episodes, bless his heart, and just like telling me what he agreed and disagreed with. And he was like, boy, you guys really don't like the white worm lady. And I was like, no, we do not. Do you? He was like, I guess didn't have that strong of feelings about her. Yeah. And then a little bit later, he texts me again. He's like, yeah, I checked with my other friend group, my group chat that we talk about House of the Dragon. He's like, yeah, you're right. No one likes her. I was like, all right, hell yeah.
Hey, you know how your boy Marcus could have kept up with the rebrand?
Oh, how
and how
could he have
all
done
of
that?
you people out there can keep up with what we have going on.
Hell yeah.
You can hit us up on the Instagram or on TikTok, which I'm not posting a whole lot lately, at Mythkeepers. Go give us a follow if you want to stay up to date with the things we're doing. We also have some cool merch available for you guys. You can go to mythkeeperspod.com and check that stuff out. Yeah, listen, guys, oh, wait, shit. I almost forgot. Scott, what are you rating this episode?
Yeah, we didn't rate the episode. 6.
Okay. I'm going to give this a 7.5.
Okay.
I think that might be our biggest disparity so far.
Possibly. I was more down on like the second and third episode.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think that may be about the same difference in episode 2. But
I don't think you've given anything this season like below a 7.
I've really enjoyed everything this season.
I'm glad for you.
You're such a bitch. All right, that's going to do it for us here at Mythkeepers. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Hey, little thing for you guys to do, since we have done the rebrand, as Scott just mentioned. If you're listening to us on Apple or anywhere that you are able to leave a review,
hell yeah,
go give us a 5-star review. If you think we're less than 5 stars, don't give us a review. And I'm going to end on that.
Certain apps won't let you even rate if you don't actually listen to the podcast. I found that out today. That was fun.
Interesting. Why were you trying to spam us with 5 stars?
No, a coworker was like, "I'm gonna rate you as a 1 because you're a sack of shit." Scott.
Okay, that would be justified.
Right. No, true. Actually.
All right. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And I believe so, Your Grace.
I hate you.